Hi everyone, I'm Jake Bates. I'm a workforce management consultant at Shopworks, and welcome to the Workforce Management Podcast. My guest today is our own Ben Nakimovitch, Customer Success Manager. Welcome, Ben.
Hey.
So this episode, we're kind of looking at around what kind of tasks are involved with a workforce management system. So Ben, just kind of as a brief overview, introduction into tasks, what are kind of your standard required tasks when kind of operating a workforce management system?
Well, I'd say before you start defining the tasks, it's crucial to define your stakeholders, who would be in charge of that solution and who will be responsible for those tasks. So that would be the first step to unlock the full potential of a workforce management solution. Who are your stakeholders? Who will be your champions? Who will be responsible for the system? Many processes can be automated within the solution, and most of the vendors will offer what we call a managed service. Essentially is extra support for some of the tasks. So you don't have to sit there and do it yourself. Your vendor could assist.
Okay. And in terms of job titles, personas within the business, who's kind of involved? I can imagine there's anywhere from payroll, HR.
Yeah. So let's break it down into 4 different categories, and I'll start from the bottom up. So I would say that you've got your frontline staff. So these would be the end users, your frontline operation. These are typically shop managers, staff members. To an extent, some cluster manager could be part of that category. And these are doing the basic data entry tasks, I'd say. So, your build, your schedule, you approve and you build your schedule, manage your time off, manage overtime. If someone is calling sick, you swap the shifts around, and then finally you just confirm what actually happened. So all that planning, all the way to confirming what happened phase. So that would be your frontline stuff to start with.
Okay, and just to kind of jump in there, I'm assuming straight away what kind of stands out there is that sounds quite manual. So workforce management, I'm hoping, is there to kind of replace some of those manual processes. And
yeah, absolutely. So the beauty of workforce management and those systems is that some of it will remain manual because we're talking about managing human beings, workforce management. Yeah. So it's hard to plan and automate what's going to happen. So in this series, we covered things like AI that would automate some processes and do the forecasting and also almost populate your schedule for you. But when it comes to the frontline staff, they will have to manage exceptions, people turning up late, people not turning up at all, staff that might be scheduled for a shift, but they call 5 minutes before the start, and then you need to find a replacement. So these tasks, they can be assisted by the system. So we've got in Shopworks, for example, we've got modules that you can use to automatically find a replacement and notify available staff so they can cover a shift. But there's still a need for a management action on this because they are the one managing their team on the ground.
And I'm assuming naturally there's HR, payroll, so there'll be joiners, movers.
Yes.
Systems talking together. There's going to be a HR element of tasks as well. Workforce management, I suppose, what would be the advantages? A good workforce management system would be able to talk to your other systems. We can 100% of the system can integrate with your HR vendor, your payroll vendor, and make sure the data flow between the systems. But yeah, so you've got an admin leadership team that would make sure that new starters that join the business are populated into the system, ready for managers to schedule in. Yeah.
If staff are moving between locations or being promoted to a different role or change the contracted hours or any contract changes in general, those admin leaders would be here to make sure that the platform reflects that.
Yep.
So staff can be scheduled accordingly. So yeah, and then of course when someone leaves, you need to make sure it's also translated to the system, so you don't end up with people that have left the business scheduled into the staff, so into the rota. So these tasks are very, very, very important as well, and that would be that would be typically your HR team, your payroll team, people sitting in a centralized function. That would make sure that the data is populated.
Okay, and your kind of account management, customer success, now I'm assuming there's going to be some use cases where tasks can't be done or there's an issue. If I'm kind of, where's the support element from a workforce management with some of those tasks? Can I do them myself? Does some client, I suppose it goes into how specific or configuration side of it is?
Well, the discussion is often, it's often start with, okay, we've got a challenge. That's a task that we need to implement, and can you advise?
Yep.
And then there's a lot of knowledge sharing because, of course, the customer success team does speak to dozens of businesses. So it's often very beneficial to say, well, actually, it works there. Maybe you should try in your business. I'm pretty sure it would work as well. So we can use those lessons learned from other projects. So you've got that conversation that starts in that way. And then the golden aim is to make sure that they can take over that task and be completely self-sufficient. But this is where we take them into a journey of saying, okay, this is the task, this is how we can do it, and by we I mean us as a group, you the client, and us the vendor, and then we'll take them through baby steps. Okay, we'll do that. We might be highly involved the first few times. And then we'll take you through the process. We'll issue a guide or whatever might be needed so they can then own that task.
And I'm Mr. COO, CEO. Tasks for me, I want to know about reporting, insight, visibility, rather than the kind of the front line. From a back end perspective, is there kind of a focus around that? Can it sit in there?
Yeah, I mean, data is just endless possibilities of what you can do with data. So of course, workforce management solutions will come with their own reporting suite, whether that's Excel reports that you can just export from the system or integrated BI tool that could allow you to build more bespoke dashboards or reports. That's a discussion that you need to have with your vendor. Because data is what the system is designed to capture the data. And to, of course, provide that data into a format. But everyone will need the data in different format, in slightly different. So I would say that's part of those projects when it comes to the tasks and, for the CEO and those senior that senior leadership team, that they would need to have access to that data. So when it comes to Shopworks, for example, there are all sorts of solutions. I've talked about the standard report. We've got suite of APIs that you can integrate with, and then you can pull the data that way. Data warehouse, integrated BI tool, automated feeds. All this is possible for those people, for those senior.
So it would kind of be fair to say, I think, depending on the complexity of the business, yes, there are some tasks which you could probably do yourself and actually manage from an admin perspective, but actually the more complex and configuration that's needed, then a workforce management provider will hopefully be there to lean on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, workforce management is a moving target. I'm sure it's true for many systems, but it's particularly true for workforce management because, changing your policies or change of, in your workforce pool, sometimes you might have different challenges or you might open new locations or whatever it might be. You change the leadership team, acquisition or whatever it might happen in the customer's world would mean that there would be a lot of changes in the way that the business operates, and therefore the way that the workforce management solution needs to operate. So it's a never-ending conversation, and those tasks will evolve, and then it's your workforce management solution provider to be there and assist you with that.
Brilliant. Well, look, I think it's been really, really interesting. I think it gives our kind of listeners a wide range of where they fit in that journey and kind of finding a provider that can help them on that journey. For our listeners, we can find a full link to the blog. We've written a blog for this in the link below. But thank you for joining me, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
We'll speak to you soon.
See you
Cheers.
soon.